So Sayadaw has been explaining about Yogi, what is a Yogi, for 2 days already. And by now you have understood to a certain extent. But in the text there are explanations about Yogi. So Sayadaw is explaining from both theoretical and practical aspects. Sayadaw gives an example. If someone gets to eat tasty food, delicious food, just by taking 1 or 2 mouthfuls, one is not satisfied in eating because the food is so tasty and delicious. So in the same way, when Sayadaw is explaining about the meaning of a yogi, the meaning is so great that Sayadaw does not want to finish off. Sayadaw would like to continue to explain about what a yogi is, because it is so meaningful, because it has a lot of essence. So, but Sayadaw is not doing it for his own good. He is not aiming for his benefit, but it is for the yogi who come here to practice from so many miles away. In order to be worthy of coming a very long way, Sayadaw is explaining on the meaning of yogi, so that you will understand what it takes to be a good yogi. So in the practice, it is very important to invest your effort so that you will get the taste of Dhamma. So in order to get the profit in the Dhamma, you have to invest viriya. So with a good intention that may you all be able to get the taste of Dhamma, Sayadaw has been explaining in detail what is a yogi from both theoretical and practical aspects. So, understanding the meaning of a yogi, if the yogi tries very hard, then this yogi experience will become special even within a few days. So his or her experience will be special even within a few days, 1 week or 2 weeks, if she is practicing according to the true meaning of a yogi. So even from the beginning of the practice, when the yogi is practicing in a very easygoing manner, lacking viriya, working sluggishly, then she is not going to get the benefit from the practice. So if this happens when the yogi does not get benefit from the practice due to lack of effort, then this yogi is going to have doubt and uncertainty whether this is the correct way to do. So Sayadaw gives an example. A patient who is sick, after taking the medicine for some time, if the medicine is not doing any good, the patient starts to get doubt in the medicine and also to the physician who prescribed the medicine. And the patient will think, will my sickness ever go away by this medicine? So, in the same way, if the yogi does not accept sufficient effort from the very beginning of the practice, And if he/she is practicing in a very sluggish manner, easygoing manner, then his or her experience will be same every day. Every day his or her experience becoming the same, not much different. So not much improvement, no improvement in the practice. So the days go by where the yogi does not make progress. So this kind of yogi is going to have doubt in the practice and also in the meditation teacher. So just as a patient needs to take the prescription effectively in time, regularly, just as the physician has prescribed, so the patient needs to take the prescription regularly, just as the doctor prescribed. And also the patient should avoid the kind of food that the doctor says, and the patient has to eat what the doctor prescribes. So it is the duty of the patient to take medicine accordingly how the doctor prescribes. So in the same way, yogi has to be just like the patient who has to take the prescription in accordance to the doctor's guidance. So yogi should also practice accurately to the guidance given by the teacher. So the yogi should listen attentively what the teacher guides, and also yogi should follow accurately, precisely what the meditation teacher guides him or her. Only then it will be worthy of giving help in the Dhamma to the yogi. So yogis here, you come a long way, spending so much money on traveling, leaving behind family members and loved ones. So in order to be worthy of coming here to practice, you need to exert sufficient effort in the practice, and you need to practice according to the guidance given by the teacher. There are three kinds of yogis. The first one is yogi by name, yogi in name only. So these are the persons who do not listen to the instruction and guidance carefully, and they do not practice. They just practice in stop and go manner. They practice intermittently, not continuously. They practice in very easygoing manner. When they come for report also, because they've not been practicing well, they report from their imagination rather than from their own experience. So when they report their speculation and imagination, his or her report is not in association with knowledge. That's why the nature this yogi is explaining is not correct, or it is not through the practice. And this kind of yogi who is practicing in easygoing manner, not sticking to the guidance of the teacher, this yogi is going to have doubt in the practice. So one should exert effort. One should put effort in the practice. By putting effort in the practice, sati, mindfulness, and samadhi, concentration, will develop. So in this kind of yogi, he/she will know what the object is, and he/she will be able to explain clearly about the meditation teacher, clearly about the meditation object. He/she will be able to explain the nature of the object, because this yogi has understood the nature by practicing the presently arising object, and this yogi has understood the nature through his or her experience. So what this yogi is reporting is the true nature, what is correct, because the report is not from his or her imagination or speculation, but he, she is reporting on what he, she finds through personal experience. And what he says, what she says, is in association with knowledge, so the nature he, she comes to know is correct. So this kind of yogi is a good yogi who the meditation teacher likes to give help to. The meditation teacher trusts the yogi who is honest in the practice, who practice diligently according to the guidance given. And the second type of yogi is a masquerade yogi, or a yogi who just bears the appearance of the yogi, but he, she not working properly. So if others look at the yogi, they will think he, she is practicing properly, because the way the yogi goes, so slow, it seems so slow and mindful, so others think of him as a good yogi. But actually, this yogi is not paying full attention in noting the presently arising object. Even though he, she looks like a good yogi, but actually, when noting the object, yogi is not aiming or directing the mind towards the object, and the yogi is not putting enough effort so that the noting mind will reach the object of meditation. So actually the yogi is practicing in a very easy manner, but his or her appearance looks like a good yogi because he, she is moving slowly as if he, she is mindful, but actually he, she is not paying full attention. So this kind of yogi is called masquerade yogi. Even though he, she looks like a good yogi, but actually he, she is not noting deeply enough. So this is called, the second type is called a masquerade yogi. So Saraji hopes that the yogis who are here will not be like these two types, yogi by name, yogi in name only, or masquerade yogi. So what the yogi needs to be is a role model yogi, or yogi who is a good example to others. So in order to be a role model yogi, in order to be a yogi who will be good example to others, there are two things to follow. The first one is sadhuka savana, which means yogi needs to listen attentively the instruction and guidance given by the teacher. So by listening attentively, he, she will come to know the true way to practice, and thus he, she will know how to practice, and he, she will be able to practice properly. And the second one is sadhuka manasikara, which means when the yogi notes the object, yogi needs to aim or direct the mind towards the object, and the yogi needs to put effort so that the noting mind will reach the object of meditation. By noting the object with aiming and effort, yogi will develop sati and samadhi, his or her body, speech, and mind will be pure, clean, and gentle. Because this yogi puts effort from the very beginning of the practice. This yogi practicing meticulously, accurately, precisely, according to the guidance given. So this kind of role model yogi, or a yogi who is a good example, is obvious when she comes to report in interview. So this yogi will be very honest in the report. She will report, "Sir, I am asked to note the rising and falling of the abdomen, but I cannot keep the mind on the rising falling for long. After noting rising falling a few times, then my mind wanders off without control. Then I had to note the wandering mind, and then come back to rising falling. And again, my mind did not stay long in rising falling. It wanders again. So in this way, I had to be noting the wandering mind, the thinking mind a lot than the rising falling." So when the meditation teacher hears his or report, the teacher can see the yogi is working properly because she knows the wandering mind. And this yogi is honest in the practice because she is reporting his or her weakness as well. So when the yogi is reporting what she can do, what she cannot do, this yogi is honest, and the meditation teacher can see this yogi is an honest yogi who works properly. So the one who works properly according to the guidance given will know if his or her mind wanders or not. The yogi who does not pay good attention doesn't even know the wandering mind. If she comes for a report, I say, she will say, "I can do rising falling, I can note rising falling properly without wandering mind." But in fact, this yogi does not know the wandering mind because she is not paying attention properly. So it is very important to be honest when reporting interview, and it is very important to work properly in order to be able to report in the interview. So when the yogi reports his or her experience from what she finds through the practice, then what she explains is association with his or her knowledge, and thus the nature she comes to find will be correct. So this is the yogi, the kind of yogi one should be. One should be very honest. One should be a yogi who should be a good example to others. So Sayadaw has been explaining on the meaning of yogi because Sayadaw wants all of you to be the third kind of yogi who is honest, who is a good example yogi. So Sayadaw will also continue to explain about what a yogi is today, because Sayadaw would like you, all of you, to be good example yogi. Yogi should practice based on his or her honesty, and she must have a strong will in the practice and practice diligently. So if the yogi practice very diligently with a strong will and being very honest, this yogi will get the special knowledge within a very short time. So, first of all, yogis need to understand the benefit of practice in order to inspire his or her mind in the practice. So the other day, Charaji explained on the 7 benefits of Satipatthana meditation, such as purification of the mind and so on. So Buddha guarantees these benefits, and Buddha says Satipatthana meditation is one and only sure way to gain these benefits. So in order to gain these benefits, what the yogi needs to do is to be mindful at the moment of arising and to be mindful continuously at the moment of arising. So being mindful at the moment of arising is one and only sure way to gain these benefits. So in noting the presently arising objects, such as rising and falling of the abdomen, yogi needs to aim or direct the mind towards the object and put effort so that the noting mind will fall on the object. So by noting with aiming and effort, the noting mind will stick onto the object. The mind will not run elsewhere, but the noting mind will stick onto the object. So at the moment when the noting mind sticks onto the object, how will the mind be? The mind will be free from defilements such as greed and so on. So the mind is pure and clean. There will not be greed, anger or hatred. There will not be defilements or mental pollutants, but instead the mind is pure and clean at the moment of noting. So at the moment of noting on the object, the mind is pure, clean and noble. So wholesome mind has developed. And when the noting mind is direct or face to face with the object, yogi will understand the true nature. Yogi will also see the dissolution of the object, the old object giving rise to new, and the yogi will see the arising and passing away of the object. So in this way, yogi is developing Vipassana jnana, insight knowledge, because the noting mind is direct or face to face with the object. And knowledge will develop. So yogi will be developing the knowledge he/she has not gained before. So in this way it is called bhavana, increasing, developing, increasing the knowledge. And the yogi's mind will be developed, pure, and his or her knowledge will develop also. So by putting effort in the practice, both the mind and knowledge will be developed, cultured. So effort is a great help in the practice to develop the mind and the knowledge. So in order to develop knowledge, one needs to put effort One needs to aim and direct the mind towards the object, and one needs to put effort so that the noting mind will reach the object of meditation. By being able to note with aiming and effort, mindfulness, sati, will develop. This sati, mindfulness, will prevent the defilements from coming into the mind. And when samadhi, concentration, develops, this concentration unifies the mind on the object. Samadhi makes the mind calm, collected, and unified on the object. So at that moment, it is very obvious that the mind is pure and clean. So this purification of the mind is the benefit of Satipatthana practice. And also, knowledge will develop, and it is also one of the benefits of the practice. By this way, by noting with effort, yogi is developing wholesome mind, pure mind, as well as the knowledge. So this is a genuine yogi, a true yogi who puts effort in the practice. So according to the text, combining with the practice, the yogi, the meaning of the yogi, the law or definition of the yogi is that aiming or setting the goal to develop the mind and the knowledge, working diligently, whether a monk or a person, is called a yogi. So a yogi is a person, whether a monk or a lay, practicing diligently, practicing with ardent effort, aiming for the development of the mind and the knowledge. So the goal or objective is to develop the mind and the knowledge, and the yogi should practice with effort so that wholesome mind and knowledge will develop, and the mind will become from tender to ripe, from small to big, from less to many. So if it is a monk who is practicing, then he is called a monk yogi. If it is a lay person, she is called a lay yogi. So this is the definite law, is that a yogi should practice diligently, aiming for the development of wholesome mind and knowledge. So it is in accordance with the text. So when the yogi, when all of you here are called yogi, you need to keep up with the name yogi, so that you will be a true yogi, a yogi who will be a good example. In order to be a true yogi, a true genuine yogi, you need to practice continuously. You need to put effort to be able to note the presently arising object. You need to put this kind of effort every single second. So apart from the sleeping hours, whatever posture that you are in, whatever you are doing, you must be noting diligently on the presently arising object. So Sayadaw will recite the motto, and the yogi, Burmese yogi, repeat after Sayadaw first. And later on, the English-speaking yogis will recite later. So we recite what a yogi is. So please repeat after me. Yogi is a person, whether monk or lay, practice diligently, aiming for the development of wholesome mind and knowledge. Yogi is a person, whether monk or lay, practice diligently, aiming for the development of wholesome mind and knowledge. So if the person is practicing sluggishly in an easy-going manner, not exerting effort, then this person is not a yogi. So if the person fails to exert effort, she is losing wholesome mind and the knowledge. So the least will be losing wholesome mind by lack of effort. So if the person is lazy, sluggish, not wanting to exert effort, lethargic for 1 minute, then she is losing 60 times of wholesome mind. And if she fails to exert effort for 5 minutes, then there will be 300 wholesome mind she is losing. And also, the person is also losing not only wholesome mind, but also knowledge. That's why it is important to put effort continuously so that wholesome mind and knowledge will develop. If the person is able to exert effort, even though the knowledge may not arise, but the mind is wholesome and clean, so that she is not losing. Failing to put effort in the practice, she is losing, failing, negligent. So in Pali it is called Paṇḍitā. Paṇḍitā means negligence, failure to exert effort in the practice. So one is losing if one lacks effort. So there is an example when someone forgets something during traveling. If someone forgets something on a car or a plane, she loses his or her possession because of forgetfulness. So in the same way, if the yogi is negligent or forgetful to be mindful, negligent to put effort, then the yogi is also losing. That's why in order to develop sati and samadhi, one needs to be alert, active and ready every single second. By being alert, ready and active every single second to note the object, the profit you will get is sati and samadhi. You will get the profit of mindfulness, concentration, and also your mind will become wholesome, and you will also develop knowledge and wisdom. So may you all be able to practice with alertness all the time. May you all be able to practice with honesty so that you will be able to develop the wholesome mind and knowledge. If you are able to exert effort every single second to note the object, you are sure to be a genuine yogi who is developing sati, samadhi, and also knowledge and wholesome mind. So Sayadaw will stop for today. Sayadaw will continue next day.